Yo, I'm your host Suicide, and welcome to Marginal. Now, this is the first visual novel that I actually bring to the channel, but I'm going to bring some more of these because I really like playing them. And I don't really know what this game in particular is about, but I heard it's pretty good, so let's get into it, I guess. Rain. Falling from a white sky, small drops of water. Wait, give me. Falling from a white sky, small drops of water, raindrops. The sky had, for all this time, never once cleared. The sun during the day, the moon at night, neither had ever shown their faces. Yesterday, a few days before, a few years before, it had always been rainy. And surely tomorrow, the day after, a year later, it will also be rainy. Something that will never stop. An endless rain. Stage Nana. In the midst of that, I put my feet into the river like I always did. It wasn't particularly cold. The water only came up to my ankles or knees. So there was no chance of drowning. Even if you drowned, you wouldn't die from it. Even if you drowned, you wouldn't die from it? What do you mean by that? And this flow, there wasn't a place where it started, nor was there a shore downriver. In all directions, it was all horizons. It was a river with no end. My aim was far downriver. My destination was there. Before, getting to that place would take many, many years, but now I could reach it in an instant. Soon, I reached my destination. In the middle of the river, a large pit opened, making a roaring sound. It swallowed the things that had wandered into this world. Most likely, it was there to return things to the real world. I think this place was the exit from this world. I had no proof. Sadly, there was no way to find out, and I had long lost the will to try. However, only this place was. It was the one place in this world that connected to the outside world. I really don't understand what this whole thing is about, but...
あの人、元気そうね。
Oh, it has voice acting. Okay. Visible faintly within the hole was the image of that person. It seems that he had lost his memories of... It seems that he had lost the... I can't read. It seems that he had lost his memory of this place and had returned to his daily life without trouble. Even if he were to forget about me, to me, he was the only proof of my existence. To me, he was the only proof of my existence I could live in the real world. Much better than living only tears. Just like this endless rain. Let this memory be my nourishment for eternity. Ow. The cicadas are fucking loud. Oh, thank you. Burning sunlight and the voices of cicadas. Even though it was early morning, the sky after the end of the rainy season was almost tragically clear. Today was Monday. The time was 5:47 a.m. and 20 seconds. The beginning of the most depressing day of the week. I had long hated Mondays, and that remains unchanged, even after becoming a working adult. Yeah, you probably hate Mondays even more after you became an adult, because you have to go to work instead of just fucking around at school. That was why every Monday I went to the office earlier than anyone else, every week. Wait, shouldn't it be the opposite? Like, if you really don't want to go, why would you go like there before you actually need to be there? Inside the swaying train car, as it started getting hot, I headed to the office on the first train of the day. Even though it was before 6, it already seemed like it was going to be another midsummer day, going against my feelings. Getting off the train and walking along a typical station front street for 5 minutes, I soon could see a mixed-use building. When I arrived, I got in the elevator. The company I work for is on the 4th floor. As the heavy door closes, I press the button for my destination. I press the button for the 7th floor. So you're like on the tallest floor, or the highest floor of the building. My destination wasn't the 4th floor of my workplace, but the highest floor. Wait, what? Ding. Oh, you get to the rooftop. A strong wind blew on the bare rooftop. The morning air was a bit chilling. On the other side of the high precautionary fence was a perfectly clear summer sky from the end of the rainy season. Despite it being early morning, I was soaked in sweat. Well, shall we go? Saying that to myself, oh, okay, I started walking towards the edge of the roof. The edge of the roof, what? Don't suicide. That's right, no matter how much you run, jumped, or rolled here, you will never fall from the roof. Yeah, those fences are like put there for that reason alone. You could call it a safe zone. A fence that prevented falling, prevented suicide, devoted itself to defending against that, saying, I won't let you die. However, as if defying that fence service, I put my hands on that metal wire and climbed. Ooh, that seems pretty dangerous. I finished climbing the fence, accompanied by its rattling sound, and I put my feet on the mere 30 centimeters worth of space on the other side. Obviously, this meant there was nothing in my way. At this point, I was no longer within the safe zone. Forget about running. If I so much lost my balance slightly, I would easily fall to the ground. If I jumped from here, I'd definitely die. Falling from the 7th floor, it was only natural to die. Anyone who could survive that could only be counted as lucky. Sadly, my luck was only that of an average person. So well, it was almost certain I'd die. Just one more step, simply stepping forward. With just that, everything would end. The job I hated, the depressing Monday, I'd be free of them. But I couldn't do it. The reason being, it wasn't as if I wanted to die. Then I should turn right and then I should turn right around and return to the safety within the fence, right? But there was no hesitation, because even though I did not want to die, I also did not want to live. Wow, that is really close to home. Like, that is pretty much this sentence. Like, it's pretty much what is been going on with me lately. Like, I also, it's not like I feel like I don't like this life or I want to end it because I'm suffering or stuff like that. No, it's just that I don't feel the drive to live. I don't have any reason to actively try to live, so I'm just surviving and going on my days. That is probably one of the reasons that I started doing YouTube. It'd be wrong to say that they were the same, to want to die and to not want to live. Yeah, it's completely different. They were not the same, similar, but not equal. Even if I were tired of living, I hadn't yet lived long enough to want to die. It was simply that there were mostly painful things, sad things, and living had become stained with distaste. While I was a student, things were still fine. Even if there were bad things or painful things, I could see what the cause was. No matter how much it bothered me, if I knew the cause, then I just had to overcome it. Even if I couldn't overcome it, there was hope. Maybe someday. I could even look forward. But now that I was an adult, things were different. There weren't clear causes or reasons. There were too many things where no one or nothing was at fault. I learned that this world, that reality, was full of things that can't be helped. Those small pains will, like body blows in boxing, slowly, steadily build up. Phew, I guess it's enough. With a light exhale, I once again started climbing that fence. I looked at my watch. It was 6:50 a.m., around the time that people would start coming. Without wanting to die, but climbing the fence like this, an observer would probably think that it were a meaningless act. However, to me there was a little bit of meaning. To put it in words, it was insurance for the earth. If I came here wanting to die, I could do it anytime. In a way to reconfirm that. Okay, it's a way to reconfirm that, and a way to maintain my heart's peace. It was a ritual to let out the damage accumulated from the numerous body blows during the day, before I was KO'd. See, this actually are a thing that actually works. Like, just thinking. See, even if you actually are thinking about suicide or wanting to die, thinking that, suicide is the end, so I could do it anytime, it's my last resort. If I ever need to, I just do it. Okay, just having this mentality means that you probably will not come to do that, because just knowing that you can go on a little bit more, and if it doesn't work out, you just have this this plan B, let's call it like that, and you just go on and go on and go on thinking, I can always do that and get rid of all these bad things that are actually happening to me and be actually free. Just thinking like that helps move on and continue living, if that makes any sense. Done on the dreariest day, Monday, using every trick I knew, this was how I managed to keep on living. Exactly, that was what I was saying. More than likely, I'd keep on living like this for a long time. One day, someone will do something about it. And if they can't, then they can kill me right now. I knew that this kind of thinking was a sweet illusion that only kids are allowed to have. But even so, I somehow find myself being passive. Yeah, but it does work. As I became an adult, the real world became more and more hollow. as I gained the experience point, becoming used to things and numbness killed freshness and strong emotions. I feel you so much. You don't even understand. Originally, time was supposed to be fair to all, but it was getting thinner. I'm not really sure myself whether this was a wish or a complaint, a prayer or a curse. I wasn't even sure who these words were directed to. There was just one thing that was clear. As you can see, I'm a fool. I like this guy, I think it's the protagonist. I like it. I like him so much. So this was the prologue. I can choose elevator or in? Wait, does that mean I can go on, I can go on the perspective of the guy that is probably the protagonist, or Rin, I think it's the girl, the one that is with the rain. I still have a bit of time, right? Yeah, let's go. I like this guy, so I'm just gonna go for this route, I guess. The next day, while rubbing my sleepy eyes, I headed to the office. Inside the train, there was just a fan that stirred around the warm air. With every station, the sweat on my back was stick to my dress shirt. Yeah, there's a thing, like, somewhere in Italy, where I live, like, sometimes when you take public transportation, not only they do not have, like, air conditioning or something like that, because, you know, that happens, that is understandable, but it happened to me a couple times that I was actually in the middle of summer on this bus, like, not really full with people, but there were a lot of people, so, you know, the heat actually propagates, I guess, and it's like this closed air, closed things. And even though the little windows, because they're not really big, the ones that can open, were actually pretty much, not all of them, but mostly open, there was the air conditioning on, but it put out hot air, and it was like unbearable. I really hate taking public transportation when they're not, you know, comfortable, I guess. So that's a thing. Whew. Oh well. Well, at least you got, like, the same air flowing, not like hotter air. While holding on to a swaying handle, I reflexively loosened my necktie. I can't read. The sun was burning out today too. From the heat in the morning, look. Oh, it just interrupted like that. Okay, it looked to be the most summery day of the year. All day today, I was supposed to be going around making sales. With another sigh, I headed to the office. No matter how depressing it was, there was no other alternative if it was work. Okay, so he's like a salesman. I just have imagined going around town, like, in the heat of summer, especially on really hot days, on a suit with, like, you know, a shirt and suit and long pants, and it's gotta be like burning hot, boiling hot, maybe it's better. And I really couldn't do that. The building elevator's lobby, the building's elevator lobby. Okay, I waited there for a while. It was around business opening time, so a fair number of people were around. Even if it meant missing one elevator, I wanted to get on one alone. Yeah, I don't like being around people either. Because at the start of the day, being trapped with a manager or coworker and forced to put on a polite smile was tiring. I get you so much. While thinking about that, I waited for the elevator.
なるほどね。
There was a young woman I didn't recognize. For some reason, she was peering intently at my face. Still record? Am I still recording? Yeah? Okay.
ま、悪くないか。優しいとこあるみたいだし。
What are you talking about? While saying that to herself, she quickly went off someplace. Maybe she mistook me for someone? This is a visual novel that is probably not what happened. She was just weird. Or maybe she had been talking to someone on a cell phone. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, whatever. I should hurry up. Wasting time like this, I didn't want to meet any co-workers this early. In moments, the elevator arrived. I got on alone and looked at the panel of buttons. Of course, today I wasn't headed for the 7th floor, as if perfectly naturally I reached for the 4th floor button. So you just do that on Mondays? There, I noticed something strange. Huh? 8th floor? There was a button for a floor that I've never seen before. This building only had 7 floors, so there shouldn't be a button for an 8th. I had written this numerous times, so there was no mistake. Plus I had gone to the highest 7th floor every Monday, yeah, so it's a Monday thing. So I knew that a higher floor didn't exist. Maybe I made mistake and came to the wrong building? I like the way this guy thinks. It's really rational, I like it. That was also impossible. The thought flashed through my mind, but I quickly dismissed it. Yeah, I think you saw your coworkers. If anything, the inside of the elevator was very familiar. Since graduating and joining this company, I'd used it for 3 years. There was no way I could be mistaken. Well, maybe they had it could happen like they get on different buildings the same elevator because it's from the same elevator company. So it could happen. And even if they were constructing on 8th floor, yeah, they wouldn't just add a button like that. It'd be just... I'd been to the roof yesterday. They couldn't have done such a thing in just one day. Then, just what does this mean? Even while thinking that this was an odd tale, I slowly pressed the button for the 8th floor. So you did it consciously? As the elevator rose, I had a number of thoughts. Maybe this is some kind of prank. I couldn't see the reasoning behind it, but if that were true, it was a pretty involved prank. Yeah, just, having to put a button on an elevator and make it work is not that simple. But then, if that weren't true, somewhere in my heart, I felt anticipation for something. Ding! Hey, what's up? Rain? The first thing I could hear was the sound of rain. The first thing I could see was just whiteness. More importantly, just where was this? I thought for a moment that I was on the roof, but that was impossible. Just before I'd been under a blazing summer sky. All I could see were white sky and flagstones, and thanks to the haze from the rain I couldn't see very far. Even though I had just gotten on the elevator to my office. Wait, the elevators? I realized there. I turned around. The elevator I just exited had disappeared. Reflexively, I looked around the area, but the same scene spread before me anywhere. Even when I strained my eyes, peering beyond the rain haze, all I could see was a faint white horizon. I have no idea. Already this was beyond the realm of my comprehension. No, not just me personally, anyone in this situation would be the same. I tried to think as calmly as I could, and as realistically and objectively as possible. There were only two things that I could think of. You either were transported into another realm, or you were drugged. This is a dream? Yeah, probably. But it felt too real to be a dream. The scene in front of me, the feel of the rain on my skin. Then perhaps, is this the afterlife? But even assuming this was the afterlife, I had absolutely no memory of when I died. Well, I mean, it does happen a lot in like anime or, you know, movies or stuff like that. Then when they represent and people die and go to the afterlife, they do not recall the moment they died because of the trauma of them actually dying. Like the brain, apart from the fact that usually when you die the brain stops working and all of that, and like assuming that there was actually a soul that stored your information. Like if it worked the same way that the brain works, because if you can't think rationally while you're dead, then that means that your soul, always assuming that there is one, should work the same way it worked when you were alive. So the possibility of the fact that you actually not deny but like forcefully forget what happened in your death, is because death is probably one of the biggest trauma that a person can incur on during its life. So that's not completely impossible that you die and have no memory of it. But maybe that was just how it worked. I had certainly stepped into the elevator, so there was the chance that I had an accident there. Maybe this was how it feels to die before you realized it. But, well, I don't really mind that. Even assuming this was the afterlife, that's how I felt. It wasn't as if I wanted to die, but living had also been painful. Deliver me from that, please. Or if you couldn't, then kill me now. Oh, right, that was the thing that he said to himself. That was something I kept saying to myself every morning. Monday. Or morning, and well, same thing. Looking up, I saw that pure white sky. It was unchanging, giving no indication that it would ever stop. It wasn't a downpour so much as a drizzle, but being in it constantly soaked me. Yeah, that's what happens when you stand in the rain. At the least, let's go find a place to get out of the rain. I don't know if there is one, but I don't think that staying like that is actually gonna help. I still have no idea where this was, but there was no point in staying still. Taking off my tightly tied necktie, I began to walk into the rain haze. Dots. So for a while, exactly how long I didn't know, I continued to walk around the area. However, the same scenery just continued on without any change. Everywhere I went, the old flagstones continued. I couldn't see anything that resembled a structure. And of course, no signs of people. No, not just people, there weren't any sign of living, moving things at all. When I casually looked at my watch, it stopped. For some reason, my watch had stopped. The hands continued to denote that it was still 6:40 a.m. That was the time I got onto the elevator. I checked when I first got on, so there was no mistaking it. And this also just what did it mean? Yeah, probably time stopped, or you are on a different reality where time flows differently. Well, thinking that, I walked forward. It didn't seem like I would come up with an answer, and standing around wouldn't help. Even though I was getting sucked in the rain, it wasn't particularly cold, but to be constantly rained on was more of a psychological strain than I imagined. Yeah, you're not used to having stuff pick on your head, huh? Dots. Eventually, after walking for a while, it was far so I couldn't tell clearly, but I could see something through the rain haze. At least from the time I'd started walking up to now, it was the first time I'd seen something that could be called a structure. Well, let's head over there then. There might be some kind of hint there, or there might be even someone else. Just as I was thinking that was the time.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Being spoken to all of a sudden, I spun around to find an unfamiliar little girl. You're missing a shoe. She was facing me, looking a little embarrassed. Who are you?
私はリンって呼んでくださいね。
Cheerfully, Rin or whatever bowed her head. She seemed quite young, around elementary school age perhaps. She didn't seem all that surprised at me. In fact, she seemed like a child, but she was somehow extremely calm. It felt like she was used to this mysterious place. Yeah, she probably lives here. But I couldn't help wondering why she was wearing just one shoe. Yeah, me too. With her other foot left bare. Her appearance was such a disconnect from this place. It made things feel even more unsettling.
おそらくですけど、ここ来たばかりですよね。
Yes. Huh? Yeah, that's right. Hold on, more importantly, what is this place? Oh, I thought you were asking about their shoe.
それを説明するのはちょっと長くなるかな。
Yeah, but we have a lot of time, because apparently time is stopped in here, so go on. Take a while. Explain?
とりあえずは雨に濡れるからこっち来てください。
I should probably have done that before even start talking. Hey! As if she didn't hear my voice, she ran off while making splashing sounds. I have no idea what she was. I stared at her back, wondering if I should be going with her. Yeah, you don't really have much choice, you know? It's not like you know what's going on. But at the same time...
早く来ないと濡れちゃいますよ。
Turning around, the girl, no, I believe she said Rin, energetically called to me. I didn't really feel any evil intent from her, even if there were tons of unanswered questions and doubts. Nothing could be done just standing here, yeah, that's what I was saying. Coming to that conclusion, I followed after her. I walked behind her until we arrived in front of a large building. Apparently, I'd seen it from quite a distance. There were a number of stone columns, and in the middle was a thing that looked like a bench. That is like a bus stop? Like a really cool one. Despite there having been no man-made things or anything other than the aged flagstones up until now. To see fragments of modern civilization in just this spot was also very odd.
冷たかった。
Brushing off the rain clinging to her, she stood next to the old bench and bus stop sign. Apparently, only this place had bits of civilization and some small traces of someone living here.
忘れてた。洗濯物を干しっぱなしだったんだ。
saying that she hardly went to grab the laundry-like clothing. There was a rope skillfully strung between the two bus stop signs. Apparently, she'd been drying clothes there. I don't think that should be the first of your concerns for this situation, but okay. She blushed heavily at the uncharacteristically flashy underwear, and looking closer, there seemed to be things resembling books of manga beyond her. Why did this one stop at pieces of modern life? I couldn't even imagine the reason. However, there was something that held my attention even more. I thought that there might be a chance other people were around. Hey, could it be that you're alone? What do you mean, once in a while someone comes? So in this whole world, only this is the only place where you don't get wet? Okay. Most likely it wasn't a lie, but the honest truth. I couldn't think of how lying to me would benefit her, and the girl in front of me didn't seem to be that kind of person. I like how he's trying to analyze the psychology of this little girl that is supposed to be on elementary school, like that kind of age. Plus, before coming here, I had walked around on my own and couldn't see anything resembling a building or traces of people. That meant that the only ones here were the girl and myself. And just what was this place? I thought it was a dream at first, but decided against that. Give me a It all felt too real. A place I'd never seen before, with an unfamiliar girl now appearing before me. It was too much to be a dream. Then that left just one answer. Then this is the world you go after you die? Yeah, even I think it's a bit unrealistic, but I can't think of anything else. Even if this is where you go when you die, I have no memory whatsoever of dying. But that might just be how that worked, yeah. I suppose from what was going on before I came here, I probably died in an elevator accident. I don't really want to imagine what my real body looks like now. Flattened from falling a long distance or torn to pieces. As I dazedly pondered that, the girl slowly opened her mouth. No? Then this is the real world? Saying that, she pointed at my wristwatch. For some reason, it had been stopped all the time. Yeah, what about it? What? Time has stopped? Dots. I don't get it. More like I understand what the words themselves mean, but not their content. Then you can't even die? It's like a sci-fi novel or a fable. Even hearing that, I can't exactly just go, oh, okay. but at the same time I couldn't deny everything, even if I think it's so unscientific. If nothing else, the scene spread in front of me, the things surrounding how I came here, were all real. If I were to believe this girl's words, then this place is like a room for a soul and time? I lost you there, I really lost you, sorry. So like in Dragon Ball, oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. A separate dimension when one day become 1 year. Yeah, but in this dimension, time is completely stopped. It's not like a slowdown. Just think about it. You could train all you want. What happened? Okay. But wait, I was saying, you could train all you want and become like a super strong person and just go out there and people will look at you like and be like, what the hell just happened to you in this past like 3 seconds you were behind us on the elevator ride, what happened? And you're like, nothing much, just entered another anime and trained and became super powerful. But wait, you went to that one willingly, so it's different, right? I had just arrived here before I knew it. Then, this is like the Mayoiga? Yeah, the Mayoiga. Okay, the place where people disappear. A place that appears to lost travelers. And you hear, sorry, Rin? You're like the master? It's not like some kind of spirit or monster, okay. Oh no, I meant that as an example. I still didn't understand the conditions of or how I managed to come here. Yeah, you just pushed the 8 button on an elevator. But essentially, this place seemed to be another dimension, separate from the real world. Okay, let's go back. End of the game. No? I can go back? Anytime? That was unexpected. I didn't think that's how stuff like this worked. Like, once you enter you can never leave, or at least it would be really difficult to... No, I mean, if it's so easy to enter, it shouldn't be so hard to leave. And yet, the girl before me was saying how easy it was to go back. Then, why don't we go and see for a bit? Hey, wait! Before I could speak, she quickly jumped outside. She's been like that earlier, lively you might say, or at least unable to sit still. Oh well, let's go take a look. Unchanging, the rain continued to fall. Falling from the white sky, it formed little drops and struck my body. Under that sky, I followed behind the girl. Splashing sound of water rose up from the wet ground. It was like a drizzle, so you didn't get drenched, but you will get a bit wet. However, it wasn't cold or chilling, it was simply wet. What's wrong? You've been peering around for a while. Appear? What will? Entryway? She never failed to say things that were incomprehensible. While thinking that and walking around a bit. Oh. Oh, it's literally an elevator, okay. At this distance, even I could see what she was talking about. Beyond the rainy mist, there was a small, box-like structure. Could that be an elevator? Wait. Just looking at it from a rational perspective, and even though I shouldn't do that, if you see how small the walls around the elevator are, how can the door slide open they just open. They don't have any handles, so it's not like they should open, or they're automatic, but they shouldn't be able to slide. Why am I questioning things in this place? Though for some reason the exterior had become an aged stone structure. On closer examination, I saw marks of what appeared to be elevator parts in various places. You could almost believe that it had grown suddenly out of a rooftop.
よくわかりませんけど、ここから入ってきたんですよね。
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's right.
では帰る時もここからだと思いますよ。
I see. That makes certain kind of sense, yeah. It was certainly more natural than suddenly appearing out of empty space or disappearing like smoke.
でも最近はこういう出入り口になってるんですね。
So it changes? Recently? Then it was different normally?
今までは襖やドアが多かったかな。
Sliding screens or doors?
今回のは変わっててちょっと面白いかも。
Okay. Saying that, Rin smiled happily. Looking at her young features and that smile, I felt that she was a honest and good child. But from what she had said, there were a number of things that nagged at me. I probably was mistaken, but... So you don't know what an elevator is?
もう知ってますよ。上に行ったり下に行ったりする乗り物ですよね。
Yeah, kinda. She stood up a bit straighter when she said this. Well, she described it a bit oddly, but she was correct.
それでどうされます？帰りますか？
It's not like I think he wants to go back, so... I hesitated just a bit. It was true that I was dissatisfied with the real world. When I first came here, I thought I died and figured there wasn't much I could do if I was dead. But if there was a choice... It was also odd to be asked if I wanted to reject that and stay here. Seirin, one question.
はいはい。
If I go back, would I be able to return here?
いえ、それは無理みたいです。
Well, that was natural. If that were true, this place would probably be full of people. Then there's some kind of time limit. If I go past that, I can't go back?
確か3日間くらいは大丈夫だったと思いますよ。
How do you know that? If someone stayed more than 3 days and that wasn't fine, that person should be around here. Or maybe that person stayed for about 3 days and then boarded it, and you know that he went back, so... Okay, that makes sense, but... How do you know that it's been 3 days if time doesn't go? 3 days? Then there's no rush to go back. Staying here forever might just turn out to be painful. Yet, compared to the real world, it wasn't necessarily worse either. Then, for now, I'll leave off going back.
本当ですか？嬉しいな。
That was loud?
ほら、ここってめったに人が来ないから一人で寂しかったんですよ。
She faced me cheerfully and said that, well, it's not only natural to feel lonely when you're all alone in a place like this.
じゃあ、さっきの場所に戻りましょうか。
Okay. Yeah, we'll get wet if it just keeps standing here after
そ
all.
れに、そろそろ日が暮れ始めますから急ぎましょう。
Oh, so it becomes dark even though time doesn't pass? Yeah, it gets dark, but isn't time stopped?
よくわかりませんけど、夜はあるんですよ。
Okay. With that, Rin started walking quickly. As I watched her, I recalled something that had been nagging at me before. From what she had explained, time was stopped in this place. If you don't get old, or hungry, or die, Also, she'd said that people rarely come here, and she felt lonely being here on her own. Yeah, how long has she been there? Then she can't have been here since a long time ago, can she? That flashed through my mind suddenly, but I quickly quashed it. At the least, she knew where an elevator was. Her clothing was a bit strange, but it was obviously modern. Oh well, there's still time. There were a bunch of things that were easy, but they'd probably become clearer eventually. Time passed. We returned to the place from before, and I had asked her a number of questions, but
よくわからないですね。
yeah, it's not like she knows everything about this world. She probably just saw things happen, and that was weird again. Or
まあ、多分そうなんだと思いますよ。
it was like that all the time. I didn't feel like I heard anything solid. But how long has this place existed? For whom? For what purpose? To begin with, just what was this place? A bit more personally, why did I come here? I asked a mountain of this natural question, but she herself didn't make any firm answer. At the same time, she didn't seem to be lying or hiding anything. Yeah, it's not like it has to be a place made by someone for someone, you know, just... It's not like humans are so important or something like that. Stuff just happens because it happens and people just find themselves in it. At the same time, she didn't have... Okay, yeah. Apparently, she herself didn't really understand. Oh yeah, earlier, didn't you say night was coming?
はい、もう間もなくですよ。
Is it gonna be like it's night, or is it gonna be like slowly fading? Despite that, I don't see any changes. The sky above us remained pure white, still pouring down rain. I couldn't even tell whether it was morning or afternoon.
ですね。なぜかここは昼と夜しかないんです。
Day and night, that there's no morning or evening?
ですから急に真っ暗になるから気をつけないと危ないんですよ。
Yeah, because the reason why morning and evening exist is because the way sun rays hit the earth or the atmosphere, it's not always direct. Sometimes they just hit the atmosphere and then they do this. They like curve and then gets you know, there's not a clean cut between day and night. It's a slow fade and it gets those colors. But if this is a place where there is no actual sun with no atmosphere blocking it and doing like that, it's only normal that it wouldn't have morning or evening. Then she continued to explain. Around here, it seems there really is nothing. Obviously, there were no man-made lights, but you also can't see the stars or moon. So at night it becomes pitch black, and if you go too far from this place, it's apparently dangerous. I see. Certainly, working around in pitch black is dangerous, especially if it's raining.
そんなわけで夜が来る前に寝ちゃうのが一番。
So that's why sleeping before night comes is best.
そうだ、寝る場所ここしかないんだった。
Oh, come on. This guy can sleep on the floor. It's not a problem. Saying that, she pointed at the bench we had been sitting on. Now that she mentioned it, there wasn't anything else usable inside.
そ
A floor?
少し狭くて申し訳ないですけど。
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll just lie down and sleep around here. Yeah.
私キューって体丸めてちっちゃくなって寝ますから。なんとか二人でも。
That's right. No way. No matter how you look at it, that the bench is for just one
そ
person.
れに乾いたし冷たいですよ。
Oh, come on, you can't find a place where it's not like weird form, it's just plain. I'm fine, it's enough that I don't get wet from the rain. Since she was here first and I came later, looking at it that way I could be called a freeloader. Well, she probably is too, so... Moreover, from what I heard earlier, you don't get hungry here, nor sick, and apparently don't die, so it's not a problem. Just laying there. So from that, I had a feeling it wasn't physically possible to be injured. Or if you did get hurt, it would quickly heal. Then there's nothing to worry about sleeping on the floor. And even if there's no other choice, sleeping on a bench? Like some homeless guy? Well, it's not like sleeping on the floor is actually better. Wait, bench? Hey, this place really is strange.
ここは時が止まっている場所ですし。
No, I didn't mean that. Why is it that this place has benches and bus stops? Exactly. Everything else was just aged stonework. They were too out of place. Yeah.
それはですね。たま
Good
に
job.
私が
Good job, like, realizing it. Oh, so she goes back to the, let's call it real world, and takes stuff and put it here. What's wrong?
夜が来ます。
With those words, in a flash the sky turned dark. What had just been pure white was being painted black. It was like watching one of those time-lapse videos.
では続きはまた明日に。おやすみなさい。
Wait, hold on.
それとベンチどうもすみません。
Saying just that, she lay down on the bench. And as I was about to say my next sentence, that's not how you sleep on benches. Why are your legs up? Okay, whatever. Wait, she's already asleep? That's a bit quick, even for a person who sleeps easily. While thinking that, I lay down hopelessly next to the bench. And while feeling the cold hard stone on my back, I quietly closed my eyes. Okay, so this was a thing. Whoa, that lasted way longer than I expected. Okay, like, I'm gonna end the episode here. I'll go, like, on the next one I'll go for the rain thing and see if that's like about her perspective, or if it's just like, I don't know, like the continuation. I don't think it's the continuation, because that wouldn't make sense that I could be able to choose it now. So, well, that's all I have time for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed. I've been your host, Suicide, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.